Welcome to session 2 of Understanding the Foundations of User Experience. In the previous session, we learned about learning what is user experience, what it means, basic of good user experience versus bad user experience. In this video, we will be discussing what makes an experience good. To be honest, an experience is what people live. We cannot design experience. Experience is an emotional and cognitive reaction which users will have while using the product and services. For a user to have a good experience, it is important to note a product or a service should be useful, equitable, satisfying, and usable. Let's dive into more details. Usable. User experience aims towards improving the product usability, so it's easier for user to use the product. Let's take an example of a ketchup sachet, which we generally get while buying any type of fast food. Now, as a user, you have to think how useful it is and what challenges you may face while using it. While using the product, I sometimes face challenges opening the sachet, as my hand might be a little greasy if I might have tasted the sandwich by holding it, which makes it more difficult for me to open it, right? Now, for improving the experience, what should I think to make it more useful? This is a step which we will be discussing in more detail in upcoming sessions, which is known as research. Now, when I researched and noticed how ketchup bottles have been replaced by ketchup squeeze over the years, if I think of enhancing the product experience by adding a cap by replacing the manual cutting option from the sachet, will it be useful? I think yes. But as a thumb rule, you should never conclude so quickly. You need to get it tested, have others' feedback, and then see how further you can improve and what impact it can have on the overall experience. One point worth noting is every change in the product, either physical or tech, requires some cost, manpower, and much more. So it needs to justify why the change is needed and how it helps improve the overall experience. By equitable, we mean the design should be made keeping in mind all the diverse backgrounds, people with different likings, behaviors. For example, some people may prefer apps that have a lot of text in comparison to people who might prefer having images and more graphical elements. So it is important having a sense of different requirements of people. Their needs is a key to consider equitable design. In simple terms, we can also say we need to keep everyone's requirement at equal level while considering the UX. Satisfying. User experience is also about making the experience satisfying. So this means you need to keep users' feeling, thought process in mind while designing the system. For example, if a user goes to an app like Amazon, they get to see the product they are looking for. They can check out the customer feedbacks, reviews, and also see comparison charts with the alternative products. This means the experience of the user is satisfying as they are making more informed decisions. Useful. In the end, the product or the service should be useful to the end user. For example, if a user is trying to order food online, but due to some reasons he is not able to add his current location, then the app is not useful to him anymore, as he cannot get the food delivered, which is the core purpose of such services. Now we will be discussing UX process and how to go about it. Many authors and UX experts have the processes explained in 3 to 5 steps. The UX process is also known as user-centered design. Today we will try to cover all the steps in this session. Analyze. As the name suggests, it is about analyzing the parameters of the product by researching challenges, any limitations, or other alternatives before coming to any solution. This phase also layouts a clear direction on what users are currently doing, what are their needs, and how we can come up with a solution to address the needs by creating service or a product. Design. In the design phase, we initially come up with ideas that we also call prototyping based on the initial assessment and research. Evaluate. This step involves testing every step. Its focus should be more on user experience, not on the interface. Build. Once we evaluate the design ideas, prototypes, we know that we are heading towards the right direction. We can then proceed with the build phase, where we bring ideas into reality. Remember, we repeat these steps again and again unless we are satisfied that the product is ready. Other ways to visualize the process of user research could be interviewing. This helps get a lot of perspective what our users need, what products they are currently using, what are their challenges, and what do they think an ideal product is as per them. Observation. Observation is the key to seeing how people use products. How do they understand the information available? Observation sometimes helps see things that people are not able to express in words. Surveys. Surveys are conducted when we want to reach a larger audience. We need to understand their characteristics, behaviors, attitude. Now you may think for a second that how it is different from interviewing, as we may ask the same questions, right? With interviews, it is practically not possible to conduct those sessions with a larger audience, and interviews are mostly done with a smaller set of people. User testing. User testing, or you may also term it as A/B test in digital space, is a critical step to see if the given prototype or a system has been developed and figure out if it delivers the experience in the same way as it is designed. Like, is the user able to make those actions to get the desired results? Inspection method. We also try to take advantage of the best practices knowledge to see if the system or the prototype design is in the right direction to deliver the desired user experience. For example, you would notice many products tends to have a similar interface, like having the menu section in the left hand side, especially in the mobile devices, close button on the top right, and much more. User persona. Every product is designed, developed to meet the different set of demands, and every product has some sort of unique propositions. One of the key methods applied in user research is building a sense of audience. Who will be using the product? Who they could be? Where do they belong? And what is their age, etc. Both design and research must go hand in hand in a balanced way to come up with desired solutions. Couple of common questions you may ask while designing the system could be: how do people perceive information? And secondly, how do people do things on different platforms? It is important what we do in user research makes sense together. Thank you.